Hey folks, Dino Bob here. I'm back in Lost Kingdom today, and we've got another Cretaceous animal, Protoceratops, to check out his new digs in the Lost Kingdom. So we're going to start where we usually start with these videos, in the initial plaza, and head out into the city plaza. This was all shot a bit ago, and this is the last time the plaza is going to be looking like this. A lot of what you saw in previous videos over to the left is going to be radically changed and moved, and what you're seeing ahead of you is going to look quite a bit different the next time you see this plaza. All thanks to the wonderfulness of pathing problems during the early access period, and then not being able to get the terrain to terraform correctly. Ahead of us, you see the Protoceratops pavilion, but before we go in there, we're going to take a quick peek behind the scenes. You see the gates there. We're going to go through them into the backstage area, and you can see we've got a garage here on the left, and the building that you've been seeing tower over the plaza, and the gates there that are pretty hidden away from this side of them, right at that little turnaround by the Cetacosaurus exhibit. So we're going to sneak back through the gates and see a little bit more of the backstage, and most of that will be looking at the care area for the Protoceratops. So we've got an extension of the building in front of us, and that's where the large nursery is currently tucked away. On the right is the shelter and a little run to the public exhibit for the Cetacosaurus. And this is the backside of a portion of the Protoceratops exhibit. Mostly this is all just laid out. There's not a lot of stuff hanging around back here and whatnot, because I haven't gotten to that level. Anyway, this is the keeper's entrance, and down over here a little bit further along we have another implied entrance to an area where the keepers can monitor various Protoceratops. There is a separate section where they can isolate them, and yet still give them a little bit more room than the stalls. A little bit of a peek at the aerial one, and then we're back out to the near plaza entrance. You can see the Protoceratops on the rock there to let guests know what they're heading over there to look at. And we'll go inside by taking that turn eventually. And don't lose your fingers to the Protoceratops. So this run, there are information screens on the back wall and benches, and then inside it's effectively open air to the Protoceratops exhibit. This animal is a desert animal, and we have a guest pretending they're a keeper. They'll get that stuff straightened out one of these days. Anyway, Protoceratops is a desert animal, and this zoo is not located in a desert, so to keep it dry enough for this animal, we put him under glass. Obviously this doesn't have an in-game function. This is just sort of headcanon as to what's going on. So this animal also seems to like a lot of space, and even then they get stuck on their termite mounds. I'll have to fix that. Anyway, so guests can walk down the gallery here, and there is a more formal entrance here at the corner, and glass viewpoints into the habitat, overhead information screen, and binoculars for them to see deeper in. And so this turn comes out to the main path into the Cretaceous area of the park. And that's a look at that entrance. Obviously, as the park expands, there will be more traffic down this way, and possibly even more animals. In this area, I've built this particular building with that in mind, that there be some space through that wall there that was to our left to put another. And we've got someone on the roof doing shadow dancing for us. Those mischievous guests. So this wall is intended to ultimately be removed and get that expansion to some other animal. So let's hop over the fence and in with even the Protoceratops are up on the roof. I'm hoping some of the animal glitching will be taken care of in the animal locomotion update coming up in a bit. It's not the most immediate one, but it'll be coming. So this is the isolation area I mentioned earlier. You can see there's a gate, and there's also an entrance into the shelter building. The idea is that the keepers could use this to isolate animals for any reason. Maybe they'd use this as a nesting ground. I don't know. Just it was a different take to do something. So let's bend down and go into the shelter. You can see the implied drop-down gates to isolate individual Protoceratops. And through this sliding bar gate is the keeper area. I tricked this one out a little bit with some of the prefabs I made. Enough stuff to start the care for the animals. So there's 4 separate pens in here and a door into this so the keepers could get in there when the gates are closed and not have necessarily direct contact with the animals. But we're going to take a run down this little lane. This is how the keepers would get around to all 4 of the pens and go out through the animals entrance into this area, which is another semi-isolated area for our animals. Part of this I did was to make the overhead glass not too extravagantly huge and control the shape of it, as well as providing something interesting to be different from other habitats. All the pillars supporting the metal frame are on concrete blocks, and the animals have a relatively naturalistic environment there. So there's the overhead. You can see rocks on one side, more ordinary exhibit on the other side. Give you a rough idea of where it sits in the park. And so that's close to the whole tour for today. We've got a few short clips of the Protoceratops doing Protoceratops things. Next time in Lost Kingdom, I expect to be heading over to the other side of the main plaza to an exhibit there. This is the little guy I backed off that termite mound, and then he decided he wasn't interested in it. So off he goes. You may have noticed the column pieces there. This is part of the idea of this park, that animal exhibits will often have pieces of the mythical Lost Kingdom in their exhibits or near their exhibits, and sort of give a theme to the whole park. How well that's working out, maybe you can tell me in the comments. I certainly don't know if it's working for you. I'm having fun with it. Coming up to the end now, and I will also be continuing Vanbury Park for a while yet. We opened up the Hell Creek section in the last video there, and still have more in mind for that. And the parks are always getting jumped around by the changes in the early access game mechanics and mechanisms. So a little bit of an extra challenge there. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. You know the drill about likes and subscriptions. So until next time, take care, be kind to each other, and come back and see me another time. This is Dino Bob signing off.